So, but that work is related to harvesting meaning. It it can be creative in and of itself, and an adventure, a detective story. There's aspects of that too, but it seems like if you're going into a
That's
work
not
of
enough.
art
Yeah.
with a premeditated plan, I'm going to show the archetypical monomyth or whatever. It's going to be very monotone. There
Yeah.
is in
But
for
hopefully it's
me,
not, because that monomyth is just is
there
not good enough.
there's blindness in creativity.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
an energy, a transcendent energy, like a boiling passion or something like that, that I need to anchor myself in and let the meaning happen afterward. What are your thoughts on
No,
that aspect of it, and how does that relate to the that sowing of meaning relate to the harvesting of meaning?
I totally agree. I totally agree with you. So a lot of people ask me about that. They'll tell me things like, I'm trying to write a story, let's say, and I'm really struggling to put the symbolism in the story. And I'm like, dude, you got it wrong. Don't do that. That's not
Yeah,
the right
yeah,
way to go about it. You have to obey the rules of the things you're doing, like in the moment that you're doing it, in the sense that you're create, and then, like, let's say you're writing a story, then you should not think about symbolism when you're writing your story. And once you've written, let's say, your first draft, then you can go back and do some editing if you need to. But while you're writing, you wouldn't want to think about symbolism, because it'll cripple you. And that's what happens. People get totally crippled by their desire to insert symbolism into their story. That the story has its own logic, and then once you see it, then that logic, you can fine tune it later, right, to make it more what it is. But it's not about trying to jam symbolism into the story. It's not gonna.
yeah.
You're not gonna be very successful if you try to do that.
Well, what is the symbolism of that point of being, that creative point of being? That it sounds blind to me in a way that the symbolist or the interpreter, the hermeneut, is really looking at things. The poet, in the broadest sense of the one who assembles, the one who makes, is blind to that. So what is the stance, or can you express and explore what are the qualities of that?
Well, for sure, the symbolist is second tier. I often kind of, the people don't realize that one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because the world is so messed up. This is not a natural way of going about things. Like, understanding symbolism is a second-hand thing. That's not what it's. Traditional societies didn't have, like, science of symbolism. Why would they do that? They don't need that. They're living inside of a pattern, and they're living it, right? They're expressing it. They're embodying it, let's say. And so it's only in the breakdown, let's say, it's only at the end that all of a sudden first of all, you can talk about it because you're moving away from it. And second of all, maybe you need to talk about it if you don't want to get lost in the darkness, or if you want to get lost in the brokenness. Because as the pattern kind of breaks down, let's say as society fragments and as identities fragment, there's an opportunity there, but there's a big danger of just getting lost, and then not finding your way. So the idea of from that moment of chaos and breakdown to be able to point to the line, like to point to the pieces of bread that have been dropped along the way, that's kind of what I think the work of the symbolist would be. Okay. But that's not enough, and you're right. That's not sufficient.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people, like, I kind of joke around, and I'm not joking, I'm serious, but I tell people, you can watch my videos all you want, but at some point you have to go to church. Like, you have to sing, you have to embody, you have to live it. You can't just think about it, or else it's not going to give you anything. It's going to be, but it's a good wake up for people that are kind of in the chaotic breakdown, but it's not enough. That's for sure.
Yeah.